5 years from now, you'll either thank yourself or regret today. Two versions of the same morning. It was 5:45 on a Tuesday morning. The alarm buzzed softly. 30-year-old Nathan opened one eye, reached for his phone, and immediately began scrolling. 5 minutes became 15. 15 became 40. Before he knew it, he was already late. Again, he skipped breakfast, ignored the book he had promised himself he would finish, walked past the running shoes collecting dust by the front door. As he hurried out of the apartment, he whispered the same sentence he had repeated for years. When life settles down, I'll finally start. On the train to work, Nathan noticed an elderly man quietly reading a worn notebook. The cover simply read, 5 years. Curious, Nathan smiled. What's that? The old man looked up. My diary. Nathan laughed. You've kept a diary for 5 years? The man nodded. No, I've written to the man I'll become 5 years from now. Nathan smiled politely, but the old man asked one question that stayed with him all day. If the person you'll become 5 years from now met you today, would they thank you? Nathan had no answer. The letter from tomorrow. That evening, Nathan couldn't stop thinking about the question. Instead of watching television, he opened an old drawer. Inside, he found a notebook he had abandoned years earlier. Business ideas, travel plans, fitness goals, books he wanted to write, languages he wanted to learn. Beside every goal was the same word. Later, 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 later. He stared at the pages. Suddenly he imagined receiving a letter, not from another person, from himself, 5 years older. The letter began with only one sentence. I became exactly what your daily decisions allowed me to become. Nathan kept reading. You blame time, you blame money, you blame fear, but none of them made your decisions. You did. For the first time, Nathan realized that every ordinary day was quietly writing someone else's future, his own. Every day cast a vote. The next morning, Nathan decided to conduct an experiment. Nothing dramatic, just one day. He asked himself one question before every decision. Will my future self thank me for this? When he reached for social media, he paused. He picked up a book instead. When he wanted to order unhealthy food, he cooked dinner. When he thought about postponing his online course, he completed one lesson. When he wanted to skip his evening walk, he walked anyway. None of those choices felt life-changing. In fact, they felt almost disappointingly ordinary. But that night something unexpected happened. He slept peacefully, not because life had changed, because he had changed. One decision at a time. He finally understood something extraordinary. Every decision is a vote, not only for what you do, but for who you become. The invisible gap between people. Months passed. Nathan noticed something fascinating. Most people around him looked busy. Very few were intentional. Some spent hours discussing success. Others quietly built it. Some admired disciplined people. Others became disciplined. Some collected motivational quotes. Others collected consistent habits. One afternoon, Nathan visited a construction site. He watched workers laying bricks. One brick, then another. No single brick looked impressive. Yet by sunset, an entire wall had appeared. The foreman noticed Nathan watching. He smiled. People always admire the building. They rarely admire the brick. Nathan suddenly laughed. Life worked exactly the same way. Confidence, health, wealth, wisdom, character. None of them appeared overnight. Every extraordinary life was built one invisible brick at a time. The problem was that most people quit before they could see the wall. 5 years happened anyway. Life moved quickly. There were failures. Nathan launched his first business. It failed. He lost money. He questioned himself. Friends told him to stop. He started again. His second attempt wasn't much better. But every failure taught something his comfort never could. He became wiser, calmer, stronger. He kept reading, kept exercising, kept learning, kept showing up. Then one afternoon, almost exactly 5 years later, Nathan walked into the same train station. The elderly man was sitting on the same bench, still holding the same notebook. He smiled. I've been wondering when you'd return. Nathan sat beside him. The old man asked, So, did your future self thank you? Nathan didn't answer immediately. Instead, he smiled, because his life answered for him. His business was growing. His body was healthier. His marriage was stronger. His confidence no longer depended on other people's opinions. Nothing had happened overnight. Everything had happened daily. The other path. The old man opened his notebook. Inside were photographs. One showed a man roughly Nathan's age. This was my brother. He had the same dreams I did. He wanted to travel. He wanted to write. He wanted to build a business. Nathan smiled. What happened? The old man's smile faded. He waited. He always believed next year would be different. He kept saying life would become easier, but life doesn't become easier. it becomes shorter. Nathan looked silently at the photograph. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't untalented. He simply underestimated the power of one ordinary day. The old man gently closed the notebook. 5 years will pass whether you prepare for them or not. The question is, who will you become while they do? Silence settled between them. Sometimes, the loudest lessons arrive in complete silence. One decision begins today. Imagine your life exactly 5 years from this moment. Picture where you live, the people around you, your health, your confidence, your work, your peace of mind. Now imagine meeting that future version of yourself. They look directly into your eyes. They don't ask about your intentions. They don't ask about your excuses. They ask only one question. What did you do when today became yesterday? Because today's choices become tomorrow's memories. Today's habits become tomorrow's identity. Today's courage becomes tomorrow's freedom. Or today's hesitation becomes tomorrow's regret. You are already building the life you will live 5 years from now, whether you realize it or not. Every page you read, every workout you complete, every difficult conversation you choose to have, every promise you keep to yourself, every excuse you refuse to believe, they are all building someone. That someone is you. Do not wait for motivation. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do not wait until fear disappears. 5 years from now, you'll either thank yourself or regret today. The choice begins with the next decision you make. If this message challenged the way you think, subscribe to the Legacy Mind, where every conversation is designed to help you think deeper, live wiser, and become more. Remember this: your future is not created by one extraordinary moment. It is created by thousands of ordinary decisions repeated over time. 5 years from now, your future self will remember what you decided today. Give them a reason to be grateful.